Hello and welcome to the Tier 1 mining jurisdiction of Western Australia. I'm Grady Wulff, Market Analyst with Bell Direct. There is no denying the gold price has been on a tear recently with an increase of 20% over the last 12 months, and the outlook for those commodities and metals that play into the green energy transition is looking really attractive for many years to come, especially for the likes of copper right now and nickel, palladium and other key metals in the longer term. With rising geopolitical tensions, economic uncertainty and the outlook for the Fed to cut interest rates as soon as September and the RBA after that, this continues to propel investor demand for these critical minerals and metals and the green energy transition in the market, with investors really looking for attractive new opportunities in the developers that boast some of the biggest deposits in the critical metals space, not only in Australia but around the world, who are able to fulfill the demand increases for many decades to come. So join me in this series as we go around to 3 different ASX-listed deposits in the Perth's Wheatbelt region or Southwest Wheatbelt region, which is within a 3-hour drive of Perth, to show you exactly what these deposits look like so far, talk to the CEOs and MDs about the grades they're seeing, and also discuss their timeline to production. Find out why some of these companies might be an attractive investment opportunity for you to gain exposure to the green energy transition. A recent board rejuvenation and capital raising has seen Ausgold attract significant global investment and announce the appointment of key industry names including John Dawood, ex-CEO of Ausgold. This, together with $38 million capital raising, has put Ausgold on a clear pathway to deliver a DFS in the near future. Let's talk to the Managing Director of Ausgold, Matt Greentree. Matt, thanks for joining us today, and a picturesque location here, the open pit mine just there, one of your historic mines that was last mined in 1990.
Well, thanks for coming down today, Grady.
First of all, let's talk about exactly what significant milestones you've achieved over the last 12 months and how you're progressing towards operation.
Yeah, look, it's been a busy few months for us. Over the last 12 months, we've been working through the studies process, really working through, I guess, the bigger picture here, but also, I think more importantly is what we've done at the corporate level. We've had a major refresh of the board. We've been joined by John Dawood, who's a fairly well-known name in the gold sector.
Chalice is on track to develop a long-life mining operation here, which is projected to generate billions of dollars for the Australian economy and thousands of jobs. Now I'm standing here in the heart of what one day will be the Gonville deposit with Alex Dorsch, the Managing Director and CEO of Chalice Mining himself, to discuss the outlook for the company, what's going on right now, literally behind us, and what we can expect over the next 12 months. Alex, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Grady.
First of all, can you tell us, for our investors who may not know the Chalice Mining story, can you tell us about the company and where it's at and where it's heading in the future?
Yeah, so Chalice is an ASX 300 company. We made a very large PGE nickel, copper, cobalt discovery in 2020. It's a very significant resource just outside of Perth in Western Australia. It's a greenfield project, so it's a very exciting project, obviously very relevant for the energy transition, but also very relevant in that there's not a lot of palladium projects out there, especially on the ASX, and certainly not many in the Western world. We're in the middle of a PFS at the moment, a pre-feasibility study, and we're looking to get the project developed sort of towards the end of the decade.
Now, you recently released an updated resource to the market, and you wanted to let everyone know about what's going on out there. Now, can you tell us, in terms of the critical minerals space in a global context, where this stands in comparison to existing deposits out there, and what's your timeline to production?
Yeah, so this is a very significant scale deposit. It's one of the largest, what is the largest undeveloped palladium, nickel, copper deposit and resource outside of Russia and South Africa. The PGM production is really dominated by South Africa and Russia, so there is a real strategic sort of urgency in the Western world to bring some Western PGM projects online. It's a very large resource. Like I said, a lot of the value from it comes from palladium, but it also is a very large base metal resource as well, quite a significant endowment of nickel, copper, and a small amount of cobalt as well. So really, it's a matter of really getting our engineering and studies work completed at the moment. We have done that new resource update, which was really trying to focus in on, can we selectively mine the high grade portion of this resource? There's about 1/10 of the tonnes in the resource that have about 2 to 2.5 times the average grade of the resource itself. So that's really the focus for the initial development, is to really sort of selectively mine those high grade tonnes that we're standing on today.
The Caravel Copper Project, located in WA's Wheatbelt, is one of the biggest new copper development projects in Australia and indeed the world. With a resource of over 3 million tonnes of contained copper, Caravel is the 4th biggest copper discovery in the world in the past decade. I'm joined here on the site of what will be one of Australia's largest copper operations in the near future, with Don Hyman, the Managing Director of Caravel Minerals, and Alistair Cook, the Executive Director. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me today. And what a day it is out here today. And so obviously it's just farmland right now. Talk to me about what the last 12 months has looked like and what we will be standing in one day.
Yeah, look, it's been a very busy time for Caravel over the past 12 months. Probably no surprise to you since we last spoke.
Yeah.
And there's been a few really major milestones we've achieved over the last year, and I think probably 2 are worth calling out. One is we've submitted the environmental review document to the state, and so that is a very important milestone for the project, but also for the regulatory process that's actually ultimately going to take us to a ministerial approval to actually construct this mine in the future. So that's one. And I think the other one, a bit more fundamental, more in line with Al's background, which is the mineral resource for the first time now includes the other metals, being molybdenum and precious metals.
Wow.
So now we have all the metals in the mineral resource. It's being reported publicly, and now we're updating the mine plans around being able to extract all 4 of those metals, all of which add value to the business case for the project.
To see the full video interviews with Ausgold, Chalice Mining and Caravel Minerals, follow the links in the email and description below. We hope you enjoyed this thematic insight into some of Australia's new and soon to be biggest producers of critical metals that all form part of the green energy transition.